one Spurs rookie this season, not named Stephon Castle, could have a big impact on the Spurs season in 2024. This is Spurs Digest, and we'll break it all down here, and I am your host, Keenan Warner. But before we get into all of that, we're on the road to 1K. 1K before the NBA season begins. Hit the subscribe button. Take a spur of the moment. Get every Spurs moment. Road to 1K. And this guy right here, he is on the road to being an NBA player. A true NBA player. Harrison Ingram's role with the San Antonio Spurs. What to expect in 2024. Second round pick. Former Tar Heel. Looking to carve his way into the NBA this season. After being selected 48 overall in the 2024 NBA draft, the former UNC standout has a chance to carve out a role with the San Antonio Spurs. We'll see what that role here looks like moving forward. The style of play that he has is going to be a role player type of role. He doesn't have that superstar role, but not everybody needs to be a superstar on a team. You need those guys who are glue guys who can do a little bit of everything. As he heads into his rookie season, he'll split time between the Spurs and the G League affiliate in Austin, which is beautiful for him. You don't want to take away a player's actual playing this young and this early in his career. You want him to be able to progress and perform at a high level, even if it is against people who are still his age, regardless if he's in the NBA, the G League, but I think he should seize time in both, so I really love to see that, and I hope that his bounce back and forth is at good times and with good nature. The setup gives him a chance to refine his offensive game while contributing in areas, and that's going to be the big thing for him. How can he contribute in areas of the game? Here are his college stats. In college, for his career, average 11, 7, and 3, shot 41% from the floor, around 35% from 3. In his last season with UNC, 12 points, close to 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 43% from the floor. Got that up to 38.5% from 3, which is obviously a big part of today's game. If you can't shoot the 3, especially if you're going to be a wing player, you have no place in the league. Obviously, you can play defense, but you at least need to be able to hit a corner 3, and that is something that he has improved on and something he will need to continuously improve on. But there's an article with SI from Matthew Gibson. He's not the type of player who is going to come in and blow anyone away with his offensive game. In fact, Ingram's path to making an impact in the NBA will likely hinge on his defense, rebounding, and willingness to do the little things. He's a scrapper, the type of player who dives for loose balls and fights for rebounds, even if he is undersized. One of Ingram's defining traits is his physicality, standing at 6'5", but you saw even there on that list, it was 6'8", so he's going to be between 6'5", 6'8". I mean, those are two separate players, but as you see, he is still a bigger-ish forward. I mean, smaller-ish forward, bigger-ish guard, depending on where he's going to play. It would be looking like he's going to play a forward. 7-foot wingspan, versatility and strength to guard and forward positions. Rebounding stands out, close to 7.2 boards over his collegiate career, nearly 9 a game in his final season at UNC. And then Ingram's skill set's a combination of Josh Hart and Aaron Nesmith. I love those two comparisons for a couple reasons. One, I see that in his game with the tenacity, with the understanding of time, place, and how to play, situation, IQ, it seems to be there with the motor. You've got guys like Josh Hart and Aaron Nesmith. Josh Hart, a guy who last year showed his versatility, showed his willingness to be a team player. If he needed to play 48 minutes plus, he would. If he needed to go get 15 rebounds in a game, he would. He would get you a triple-double if need be. He could hit big shots. He was a guy, even in college, he did the same style of thing. And then Aaron Nesmith, a guy who with Benedict Mathurin, he did not finish the season. With him out, he was able to step up and be a number 3-ish, 4-ish option, depending on the lineups that we're in. Obviously, around Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and the list goes on for that team. They were able to get to the conference finals before losing to Boston. With his with his exceptional rebounding ability for his position, capable outside jumper, and the ability to harass opponents on the defensive end at the next level, Ingram could serve as an energy boost off the bench who could create turnovers while also spacing the floor. This is a draft profile by RotoWire right after he was drafted. And the guy Josh Hart here, 9.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 4.1 assists in his time in the NBA last season. He shot 43% from the floor and 31% from three. But as I was saying, Josh Hart was just the type of guy where his last name was his entire personality. He was all heart. He was all work ethic. He was a guy who was not afraid to do whatever it took for the team to win. We obviously are going to see him this year still have that role with the Nova Knicks. You've got Jalen Brunson, that's your superstar. You've got Mikal Bridges, that's your star. You've got Dante DiVincenzo, that's your third piece. And then you need the glue guy there. That is Josh Hart. That's what Draymond Green's been all of these years. Those type of guys who can really impact a game without needing to have the ball offensively. And Harrison Ingram can be that. He can be a guy, defensive tenacity. You don't need him to have the ball when you have someone like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Victor Wembanyama. When you have those guys, you do not need him to be ball dominant. You need him to hit open shots, make the right play, and defensively when you come in, play a big role. And that is something that over time I believe he can and will develop into. When you see him, ultimately Ingram's ceiling may not be of an all-star, but that doesn't mean he can't be a valuable piece if he continues to develop his game, especially on the offensive side, and maintains that same level of hustle. He has the potential to become a solid role player in the NBA. His defense, versatility, rebounding, and toughness fit well within the Spurs system. That is something that will always remain true with Gregg Popovich. You need to have an IQ, you need to have the want, the will, and the passion. You can teach the skill. Gregg Popovich can teach skill like no other. You can teach the skill, you need to want, and you need to want to be there. You want to have it, you want it, and you want to be there. And that is something that Ingram has in him. He can give you a Shane Battier style role on those championship Heat teams. He can give you, as I said, Draymond Green. He can give you Josh Hart. He can give you these role players, Marcus Smart, those style of players who obviously those players individually might be able to do a little more. Marcus Smart's a better playmaker than he might get credit for. Obviously, we know Draymond's impact as a playmaker. But those role player guys who can come in, don't need to have the ball offensively to affect the game. That is something that Harrison Ingram can do, and I believe that he will do moving forward. As long as he has the right development, and there's not a better place to develop than San Antonio, as long as he has it, he wants it, which clearly he has shown so far that he does, he'll be able to carve himself a niche in the NBA sooner rather than later. Let me know what you guys think in the comments on Harrison Ingram. Do you think he'll be able to crack the rotation this year, or do you think he is going to be a future project? Either way, I want to know your guys' thoughts there. This has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. I appreciate all of you guys, and I will see you guys very soon.